Hi, I'm Nick. Welcome to the Fusion Space and Story Time. But before we start the episode, I just want to show you how deep my personal obsession with this franchise runs. I wanted this action figure since I was a child, and I saw the film in '91. And these are Walgreens. This is the basic model. There's a deluxe one with a few extra hands. Uh, Great value though, excellent figure. I made this it was a Halloween pirate hat that I cut for the base and then put paper on it until it was the shape of a helmet and just painted it. And these are some sunglass lenses. It is, as you see, fully wearable, and I'd hope to turn it into a full cosplay at one point, with if I could find the right kind of leather jacket. And I made this backpack. It's not very good. This is only a first draft. I'd have to use these are the wrong soda bottles. I need like 2-liter bottles to get it really big enough. It's not, it's too small, but it's a nice shelf model to go with the helmet. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I really love this one. I love the film, and the comics I think I don't know if they're better or worse, but it's different and I love it. So please enjoy. Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Fusion Space for another very special episode of Storytime, The Rocketeer by Dave Stevens. This will be the first comic I've covered that has a well-known adaptation in the beloved 1991 classic film, The Rocketeer. These comics came out sporadically from 1982 to 1989 from Pacific, Eclipse, and Comico Comics, with one final issue not appearing until 1995 from Dark Horse. And while many things from these pages made it into the film, the story is also quite different on the page, and seeing as how it's not a very well-known comic, it's not even well known the film was adapted from a real comic, it's something I'm very happy to showcase. There are also many Rocketeer comics created after the film and after the creator's untimely death from cancer in 2008, and I'll showcase them in a following episode. Or possibly 2 episodes. For now, let me tell you a bit about the Rocketeer's creator, Dave Stevens, before we get into the comics that inspired the movie. The Rocketeer is his most famous creation and a definite passion project. Dave was heavily influenced by Golden Age comics legends like Will Eisner and Frank Frazetta, and it shows in his art style. He took the utmost care crafting every page of The Rocketeer, which is why it took roughly a decade to publish 8 issues. He did historical research and focused on accuracy, so know that it physically hurt me to cut out so many pages of his work, knowing how painstaking he was in making it, to get this video in a decent runtime. And you'd be well served by buying the original comic if you're a fan of the art form. Not only was the character of the Rocketeer a throwback to the Republic's serial heroes, the art and story are modeled after the golden age of comics as well. Speaking of art, while Dave Stevens is a well-known cover artist in the industry, the Rocketeer stories usually ran as backup features and thus did not have full covers, so I'll be using all the cover-like images I could find for the various editions, just to show some more of Dave's wonderful art. This is a book in love with the history of modern art on every level, so it's only fitting the setting is the golden age of Hollywood as well. And I think it gives the story a timeless quality, and keeps it feeling fresh and exciting, perhaps even more so the more it feels like an ancient bygone era, as we and our culture ourselves rocket into the future. Now a quick summary for anyone who hasn't seen the film or heard of the comic. Cliff Secord is an amateur racing pilot down on his luck in 1938 Los Angeles when a rocket pack drops into his life. He uses it to become a local hero, but many people want the rocket for their own ends, including its inventor Howard Hughes and the growing threat in 1938 Germany, and they'll stop at nothing to get it, not even at kidnapping Cliff's main squeeze Betty, modeled after pin-up legend Betty Page. Even once that's settled, Cliff's work isn't done, as he chases Betty to New York and runs into an old acquaintance from his circus days, hellbent on revenge, and modeled after real-life Golden Age actor Rondo Hatton, and teams up with an off-brand version of the Shadow in Cliff's New York adventure. Together, these tales make up the complete adventures of the Rocketeer, which is the trade paperback to look for if you want to buy it. It's a tough road laid out for our young pilot. Can Cliff win Betty back, find a way to be the hero the world needs him to be, and prove he deserves the title of the Rocketeer? To find out, let's begin. April 1938. The Bulldog Cafe, a stone's throw from Chaplin Aerodrome, and second home to several members of Bigelow's Air Circus.
So they took one look at the bottle and yanked my license, and I hadn't had a drop. I tell you, Peeve, they was laying for me.
Oh, Malcolm.
Cliffy sure got hopped up about it. He snuck into Bigelow's office that night.
Real mature.
And took all the screws out of the old man's chair. Then he smeared Limburger all over the office.
Whew. Hey there, Butchie. How's that old tapeworm doing? Oh, I get it. I know what you're waiting for. And some nice beef jerky. Yum. Now don't tell Millie. Boom. Ooh. Ow. Jeez. What's the big idea, Millie?
I know what you were just doing. I told you what that stuff does to him.
Oh, Millie, it don't hurt him none.
Maybe not, but I got customers, bird brain. You think I want him in here stinking up the place?
Ah, come on, Butch. We know we ain't wanted.
Yeah, and keep him with you till he's walked it off.
Soon. Howdy, partner. Y'all stopping at the watering hole up yonder?
Yes, sir. Getting soda pop and licorice.
Well, tell you what. If you take Butch here with you, just take him right on inside. Millie will give you a free ice cream cone. Just tell her I said so. Oh, and be sure to feed him all these on the way. He loves them. Cliff puts the bulldog in the young boy's wagon and gives him the beef jerky. The year is 1938, and Los Angeles is about to meet the Rocketeer. A car smashes through the fence of the aerodrome.
Shh. Hey, Bert, we just lost the front gate. Holy, here comes the law, right on his tail.
The coupe squeals around the hangar, and the driver leaps out.
Quick, in here. But the police, they see the car. We'll be caught. Quick, we got one chance. There, a racing plane. Come on, we only got seconds. Hey, there's only room for one in there. Why, you...
Shut up, you gutless worm. Going somewhere, Pally? You nearly lost us back there. Look, we were just having a little fun, officer.
Oh, fun, huh? Doing 60 in a 25 zone.
And now stealing a speed plane.
Outside, a small group of flyers is gathered. Maybe one of you leadfoots wants to drive us downtown?
Officer, my name's Cliff Secord. I rent that hangar. What's all the hubbub?
Caught these birds stealing that stubby plane.
Stubby? Hey, that's my plane.
They didn't hurt it, kid. We didn't give them enough time. When checking on his plane in the hangar, Cliff finds a mysterious package stashed there by the men. A short time later, at Peavy's workshop, Cliff explains.
So the cops must have got there after they dumped it in my cockpit.
Whew. Government property, huh? You better turn it in, kid.
Nix, Peeve. They're gonna have to come looking for it. Finders keepers, I always say.
Cliff.
Look, Peeve, this act could make me a lot of dough. Something I need more than ever now.
Oh? And why is that?
It's Betty. She said I'm wasting my life, just flying in air shows, that I should get a steady job and make something of myself. Pronto.
In other words, no money, no honey? It ain't like her.
Listen, Peeve, she wants a good life, and I can't give it to her. Yet. But with this stunt...
Hold it. I still don't get it. Since when did money make such a difference?
Since she started running with that Hollywood photographer. Savvy?
Huh. So that's it. Why didn't you say so? Okay, Ace. You got yourself a helmet. But I still say you're loony for keeping this thing.
Thanks, Peeve.
After several hours. All right, now. Don't move. I'm trying to measure for the length of the pin.
Are you sure it'll be done by morning so we can test it out?
I said so, didn't I? Stop moving.
Hey, say, Peeve, this means a lot to me, what you're doing. I ain't forgetting it. Ow!
Just don't get caught, kid. You're bucking Uncle Sam now. It ain't something to take lightly.
I know, but it just seems like fate. Besides, I'm just gonna fly in, do my tricks, and fly out. I'll make Bigelow pay me just before each show. He'll never know me in this helmet. Heck, nobody will. It'll be a cinch, Peeve.
You gonna tell Betty?
Nope. I'll just show up at her place waving a fistful of bills. That'll show her I'm no chump.
Peavy works while Cliff rattles on, fed by his excitement over the prospect of a quick fortune. Hours later. Hey, wake up. It's all finished. Hey, Cliff.
Huh?
I said the helmet's finished.
Holy smoke. It's 10 o'clock. I was supposed to be flying a show right now. Quick, help me pile this stuff in the car. Nuts. Nuts.
Cliff races to the airfield. Soon after, at the air show, Cliff arrives, late. The show has gone on without him, but with bad luck at the stick.
Boss! Hey, boss! Who's in that plane? What's he...
Secord, where the blazes have you been? That rummy Malcolm decided he'd go up and cover for you.
Malcolm? This is all my fault. If that old lush cracks up, I'm to blame.
Roy, get number 2 fire truck out of that runway.
Okay. Hey, Cliff, it sounds like he's plastered. Nuts to this. I'm not going to have his death on my conscience. I'm getting the rocket. I had to have my brains counted. I didn't even test this thing yet. But I've read all the papers on it. Seems simple enough. Anyway, I don't really have much of a choice at this point. Do I, Malcolm? This could be a quick ticket to hell, or the wildest ride of my life. The Rocketeer blasts off into the sky for the first time. Continued next chapter. The Rocketeer, Chapter 2. Using the stolen rocket pack for the first time, racing pilot Cliff Secord has taken to the skies in a desperate bid to save the life of a fellow flyer. Whee! It works! I'm flying! P was right. This helmet pin is a perfect rudder. Hang on, Malcolm. Here I come. The Rocketeer nears the smoking biplane, but Cliff misjudges his speed. Yipe! Gotta try to turn around. I'm up. No! Gotta cut the jets. I'm coming up too fast. The wing of the plane hits the Rocketeer in his midsection. On the ground, the crowd stares in bug-eyed disbelief. Is this really happening? Holy smoke! He smacked right into the wing! The impact with the rocket's added thrust causes the plane to plummet, with Cliff still hanging on. Ah! What do I do now? Malcolm! Malcolm! He's out cold. He's reached the pilot. Come on already. Pull it up! Pull up! They're gonna crash. Stick's jammed. Gotta get him unstrapped. My chest. Feels like something's busted. Got! Cliff sees the plane is about to smash into a water tower. Come on, you tub of guts! Come on! Cliff yanks Malcolm out of the plane, just before the plane slams into the water tower. He took out the water tower! Where's that tank fire truck? You, get back to that radio! Hey, Mr. Bigelow, look, they made it! The Rocketeer flies down, carrying Malcolm, and drops him off in the crowd. Woof! Get those cameras on him, quick! He's flying away! Man, what a scoop! His picture is taken as he flies away. At that moment, on the other side of the airfield. Hey, fellas, lamp them gams! Oh ho, yowza, hold me down! Boy, oh boy, what a dish! You think maybe she's looking for me? Pipe down, weasel. Yeah, go suck an egg. I got news for you monkeys. That snazzy tomato is Secord's. What? Secord? I'm mortified. And I thought he was a pansy. Huh. Hi, Peavy. Betty, geez, I almost gave up on you. Sorry, I came as fast as I could. Where's Cliff? Kiddo, he's out there now, about to break his neck. For you. Apparently you put a bug in his ear about money, so now he's trying to make a quick bundle, using a stolen experimental engine. To impress me? You got it, doll. Only you're gonna talk him out of it before he kills himself. It's that dangerous? Yeah, he's got it strapped to his back. What? Oh my God! Minutes later, they reach the air show. Hey, you, what's happened out there? The craziest thing I ever saw in my life. A flying man saved a pilot. A flying man? Where is he? Dunno. He flew away. That direction. Cripes. He's headed for the hangar. Hold on. Peavy speeds to the hangar with Betty. The Rocketeer flies down, looking for a place to land. Hope I haven't broken any ribs. Sure. Hey, those boxes. They ought to break my fall. But I gotta do this just right. Cut the jets. Now! All is quiet as Cliff Secord slips into oblivion. There is no applause, no cheering crowds. Only the silent scrutiny of an uninvited audience of one. The Rocketeer, Chapter 3. After the nearly fatal rescue of a fellow pilot, Cliff Secord has made his first landing, and perhaps his last, as a sinister figure looks on. Cliff is accosted by a man with a gun who demands he remove his helmet. He stows the helmet in the alley by the hangar and gets in the man's car, still wearing the rocket. As they drive away, Peavy speeds across their path. While the man drives Cliff back to his boss, Peavy finds the helmet and puts two and two together. However, the man and Cliff are driven off the road by another car, and Cliff is once again airborne.
The car crashes, and when the men from the other car come to investigate, Cliff finds out the man who kidnapped him was a federal agent. Luckily, Cliff was thrown free of the wreck, and he came to in time to hear what's going on.
Who are these lugs?
But first we must find the one who now has it. Shall we return to the airfield tomorrow?
That's me they're talking about, and the rocket pack. They must be partners of the two who left in my plane. But who are they?
Yes, it would be most unfortunate for Berlin to be without such a weapon.
Berlin? Holy smoke! These guys are Germans. Spies! What have I gotten myself into? They're talking war. All I wanted to do was make some quick dough with this thing in the air circus, so Betty'd start taking me serious and stay away from all those greasy Hollywood Romeos. That's all I wanted. Then I was going to turn it in, if I live long enough.
There should be another body. Search the brush. He must have been thrown from the car.
Nuts. They find me. I'm dead. Unless... Yeah!
Look! It's him! He's wearing the rocket pack! Cliff blasts off, knocking the men over like bowling pins as he escapes. Several hours later, at Cliff's hangar.
Peavy, it's been almost 3 hours. We have to call the police. He could be hurt somewhere.
Nah, from the look of things, he walked away. I just wish I knew where. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Cliff!
What happened to you?
Where have you been? Are you all right?
Yeah, this thing sure ain't.
Jeez.
Cliff recounts the incredible events of the past few hours as Betty tends his cuts and bruises.
Then the engine gave out on me, and I had to hoof the last 2 miles. Cliff, you've got to turn it over to the police.
No, ma'am. I'm not finished with it yet.
Cliff, don't be stupid. If those Nazis find you, they'll kill you to get it.
Then that's a risk I'll just have to take.
But...
leave me alone, will ya?
All right, I will. And I won't be back to bother you anymore.
Betty storms out, slamming the door.
Hey.
Heck. Cliff rushes after her.
I said, wait a minute. Come here. No, you let go of me, Cliff Secord.
Cliff grabs Betty and pulls her into an embrace.
Not until you simmer down. Now look, there's a reason. Peavy told me you're going to use it in the air circus for money. How can you, Cliff? A man's been killed. What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of us. I'm not going to lose you to some hoi polloi just because he's got more scratch than me. Once I do this act, I'll be able to give you anything he can.
Grow up, Cliff. It's not money. I've told you, you can't own me. You've got to let me live my own life. As for Marco, he's helping me with my career. That's all. So stop dragging him into it. Now get smart and get rid of that thing, so we can get back on the right track. Okay?
Don't worry. I'll do the right thing.
I'll be counting on you, honey. Don't get crazy.
Cliff argues with his boss at the airfield, saying the Rocket Man could be a new act, but he doesn't want to reveal his identity. PV calls with a message for Cliff that the hangar is being searched by strange men. As Cliff arrives, he sees the men driving away with Betty in their car. With the rocket still being repaired, Cliff and PV get his racing plane, the Bulldog, ready for flight. In seconds.
But, Cliff, this thing's a flying coffin. You said so yourself. Nearly shook itself apart last time.
I know. But those goons have got Betty. If it weren't for me, she wouldn't be in this jam.
Look, Cliff, I know how you feel, but...
Yeah? Then prod me.
Contact. Come on, Cliff. Easy does it. Easy.
With a stubborn roar, the fat little plane leaps into the air. While a short distance ahead, the sedan's exit has been cut off.
God, they have the gates blocked. Quick, turn the car around. Head for the front gate.
We can slip out with the crowd leaving the air show.
That noise, it's getting louder.
God! Ah!
Cliff dive bombs the fleeing car. At the last second, Cliff pulls back. He rams the windshield with his landing gear.
Bingo! Got him!
He climbs in a wide arc.
Now for the finish. Drive faster, you fool! He's circling! Coming back!
Rounding a corner, the car bursts through a barrier and straight into the air show. Well, here's a surprise, folks. Cliff Secord and the infamous Blind Bulldog.
Get that car up the field! It's going to kill us! I said faster!
Cliff races the speeding car just above it in his plane. Who says Bigelow's Air Circus doesn't give you more for your money? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't quite know what to call this act, but it sure looks like fun from here.
Watch out, you fool! What's wrong with you? Otto, I have glass in my eye! We can't outrace that plane. I'm going to shoot it down. Ugh.
While inside, Betty kicks away her attacker.
Ugh, you little tramp. I'll cut you up good for that. After we fix your boyfriend. I must have got the driver. He's steering wild. Now I can box him in.
What a show, folks! What a show!
I've got him now.
The spectators watch in stunned silence as Cliff bears down on the speeding auto. The car stops when it hits a pile of hay.
Bullseye! He plowed right into the hay. That ought to hold him for me. Now to land this baby. Hope to God Betty ain't hurt. That crazy man tried to kill us.
Okay, now settle down, bud.
Hurry, we must lose ourselves in the crowd.
Hey, somebody grab those guys. There's a dame back here, all tied up. In minutes, Cliff appears.
Betty! Cliff, they got away.
Never mind. Are you all right?
Yeah. Oh, Cliff, you've got to get rid of that thing. Please.
I am. It's already settled. Everything's gonna be fine. You'll see.
So, he is the one we seek. I will tell Otto we must regain that device, and this time, nothing must stop us. Nothing.
As the German spy makes his discovery, hands reach for him from the shadows under the bleachers. Next chapter, the third party. In a darkened room, a strange tableau unfolds. The serum's taking effect. Good, now we'll find out a few things. What is your name?
Werner Guptmann.
What is your mission here?
To steal the plant and prototype model for the Cirrus X-3 rocket engine and return visit to Berlin.
Where are your fellow agents?
In hiding. We were to meet at Cloverfield Air Base to transport the device.
How?
By stealing one of the new planes. It is all prearranged.
Where is the rocket pack now?
We no longer have it. Our carriers were taken by the local police, and it was left in a hangar at Chaplin Airfield.
So the person the newspapers call the Rocketeer, he's not one of your agents?
No, he is an American flyer.
His name?
Cliff Secord.
The Rocketeer, Chapter 4.
So, what's it today, sugar? Girl trouble again?
No, I just got bounced from the air circus.
Oh, Cliff, you were the last person I knew who had a steady job. What happened?
Long story. Anyway, that was my own fault.
Gee, what you gonna do now?
Millie, I wish I knew.
Hey, I know. Why don't you try stunt flying for the movie studios?
Nah, bad idea. I tried it once. I don't mix well with those Hollywood types.
You're just jealous 'cause they got money, and you don't.
Baloney. I just plain don't like 'em. They think they can buy and sell anybody. Which reminds me, I gotta make a phone call. See ya.
Hurry back.
Betty, how about going for a spin?
No, I'd love to, Cliff, but I'm going to be tied up this afternoon.
Don't tell me. More art photos?
Cliff, don't. We've been all through that. Why don't you call me back tonight, okay?
I'll think about it.
Nuts. Of all the dames in this town, why'd I have to fall for her? Never around when I really need her. Always getting herself into trouble. Taking off her clothes for that flaky creep photographer. I'll bet he's there right now. Boy, I'd love to pin his ears back. Just thinking about him gives me a rash. I might as well go see how Peeves doing with the pack.
After a short drive to Peebee's. Well, how's it coming?
Just finished it up. As it turns out, didn't have to do all that much.
Looks like you did plenty.
Yeah, not really. The stabilizer rings are totaled, so I had to pull them. This is what I substituted.
Fins, huh?
Yup.
Spells mother to me.
Yeah, the placement might be a little off, but I figured they'd give you more control, steering-wise.
But steering isn't a problem. It's speed. The dang thing takes off like a shot. Nearly drove me right through Malcolm's wing. And trying to land is next to impossible.
Well, if you'd read these plans a little closer, like with both eyes, it would have been a whole lot easier. See this? Thrust control. Give me that hand grip. It says launching thrust. To press studs once. Half thrust. Press them twice. You only pressed them once mid-flight, which cuts off the power. Now, after you're at half thrust, press them again, and it's switched off. Now you slow down to where you can land. But not on your face like last time. See this switch?
Huh. Something else I missed. What is it?
Gyro control. Flip the switch after the engine's off, and instant balance. You'll land on your feet every time, just like a cat.
You kept a great sales pitch, Peeve. How's about a quick test flight before I hand it over?
Peavy grudgingly agrees to a test flight and drives Cliff to a grassy field beyond the airstrip.
Now, remember what I told you up there?
Yes, Mother.
Watch it.
Look, Peeve, I'm not going off half-cocked this time. I know what I'm doing.
That's what scares me.
Without another word, Cliff presses the studs, and the Rocketeer shoots skyward.
What a kick! This beats everything. Nothing can touch me here. I'm never giving this up. Yahoo! Look at me, world! Cliff Secord, the first flying man! Now, let's see. Half thrust. Hey, this does slow it down. Now switch off and gyro. Whoa!
Let your feet drop or you're gonna roll. Ah! You lame brain! What's the matter with you? You trying to wreck it again?
After getting an earful from Peavy, Cliff returns home, empty-handed.
Boy, Peeve sure is mad. I didn't figure on him wanting to keep it there. You'd think he didn't trust me.
When Cliff returns home, he finds two thugs who claim to be representing the rocket's inventor. Cliff tells them that Peavy's repairing the rocket and gives them a written address, but they bring him along anyway. As their car passes a trolley, Cliff makes a break for it, evading the thugs by dodging in front of it. They continue on to the address Cliff gave them and bash the door down, only to find a photographer taking pictures of Betty in quite a state of undress.
Wow!
What's the meaning of this? Who are you?
Well, that's the questions, Mr. Peavy.
And I'll start with you. My, what an enchanting perfume.
Peavy, I'm Margot of Hollywood, and you have just broken into this young lady's apartment and ruined my shooting.
Margot, wait. You said Peavy? Who gave you this address?
Huh? Holy crow. What a couple of prize chumps we are. He boned us and we went for it. Ah! I'll tear his arms off.
After I'm through with him.
Begging your pardon, miss, but you seem to know the man we're after.
All too well.
And his true address?
With pleasure.
My thanks. We'll see that your door is replaced.
Toodaloo.
Come along, misanthrope. Back at Peavy's.
All right, you. That was Betty, and she was hopping mad. Two belugas just busted into her place looking for me. Well, they caught her and they all together. Ha! Ha ha ha! Serves her right. Oh, I wish I could have seen it. Ha! Well, you're gonna get your chance, because she sent him over here about 20 minutes ago.
What? That means I'll be here any second. I gotta get this stuff out of here.
Cliff collects the rocket in his costume and skedaddles out the back as the mooks pound on the front door.
Hey, come back here with that. You said you was turning it in.
Not to them, I ain't.
I knew it. I knew it.
Are you Ambrose Peabody?
Who's asking?
Open up. We've come for the rocket pack. Let's have it.
And no baloney. Well, I wish I could oblige you, but Cliff just took off with it.
Yeah, nobody makes a monkey of me like this. Nobody! Excepting yourself. Well, he's aced us for now. We'd better get down to Cloverfield. Peavy is led outside to his car.
Come on, Pops, move it. And no funny stuff. We'll be right behind you.
The thugs handcuff Peavy to his steering wheel.
Hey, what's this?
Insurance. Come on, get that heap moving. Peavy finds that Cliff has chosen to hide in his car.
What? You jerk? What you hiding here for?
Shh, how was I supposed to know?
Ain't you hearing me? Yeah, but why Cloverfield?
They all arrive at the airfield to find an emergency situation is ongoing. Nazis have killed the crew and hijacked an experimental bomber plane from the military base.
I hate to be the one to say it, but you could probably stop that hijack.
What? Are you crazy? I could get killed, too.
So? You've been putting your neck on the line every day for that air circus. Where's the difference?
I get paid to do that. Nobody's paying me to get shot at. These mugs have got guns.
Oh, guns. Gee, and I'll bet they're dead shots, too. Tell you what, reach under your seat.
You got hooch? What, a Mauser? Say, where'd you get this?
None of your beeswax. Now, listen good, you. We're in a heap of trouble here, and I ain't planning to spend the rest of my life behind bars. Now, I figure we got one way out. If you show 'em you ain't no crook, by saving that plane.
Oh, that's a swell idea. Supposing I get croaked.
And I suppose Betty'll be looking for a new fella. Maybe that photographer.
Thanks for reminding me. That's the whole reason I kept this dang thing in the first place. A lot of good it did me. Mr. Secord, this has gone on long enough. Your thievery has cost me a lot of time and trouble. It ends here. My machine, gentlemen. Next, the final chapter. Rocket's red glare. The Rocketeer, Chapter 5. Out of the car, Secord, and don't reach for the gun. That would be a mistake. Okay, no need to get sore. I'm coming out.
Moment of truth, kid. Don't blow it.
I'll only say it once. Hand over the rocket pack. I'm in a moment to spare. Don't tell me. You're going after the Locust with it.
I am.
Cause me any further delay, and I'll personally see that your incarceration is permanent.
You mean life? Use your bean, Cliff. I don't want to do no time. Go on. Show him you ain't no crook.
Am I going after that plane myself? Maybe I oughta. I gotta square things somehow.
Well, I keep him covered.
Peep, don't! Peavy aims the gun at the stranger. In a blur of motion, the stranger's hand lashes out, wrenching the gun from Peavy's grasp, and spurring Cliff to sudden action. So long, boys. Got a plane to catch. Cliff dons the Rocketeer helmet and springs away. Secord!
No!
He launches into the sky.
Geronimo!
I have him in my sights, sir. Permission to fire. No need. He won't get far. Call the tower. Have them ready a pursuit plane immediately. Peabody, I don't suppose either of you gave a thought to checking the fuel supply in the Cirrus X3?
Fuel so...
Ooh. Minutes later, high above the city, Cliff races through the clouds, unaware of anything but the Locust. Moving at a good clip, too. It'll take some doing to catch her. But I gotta. Hey, what the heck? I'm slowing down. This is nuts. Feels like the engine's cut out on me. I can't get any power. Oh, Lord, no! I'm going into freefall! Meanwhile, at Cloverfield, the rocket pack's inventor prepares a P-26 for takeoff. It's a long shot. 1 in a million.
Yeah, but if anybody can do it, he can.
You two stay by the control radio. I'll keep my mic on.
Gotcha.
Blast that Secord. Why won't he give it up? He has nothing to gain from this. He'll only end up killing himself pointlessly.
He's a sap, I tell you. Squirrely's calling brother.
Pursuit 1 to tower. I'm clear, and I'm taking her up to 5,000 feet. I should have him inside momentarily. We read you. Good luck.
And how?
Then, as the speeding plane breaks through the clouds. Hold on. I see him. He's already in free fall. Looks like it's now or never. The little plane banks and dives toward the plummeting figure. Switching to loudspeaker. Secord! I'm gonna pass under you! If you can hear me, I want you to reach out for my right wing! What? Is he nuts? He'll chop me to bits! In seconds, the plane overtakes Cliff, then paces him. He did it! He's coming up, underneath me! Don't let me miss! Cliff catches the wing and clings on for dear life. You've got it! Now hug it tight! I made it! I'm alive! I'm alive! Secord! The rocket pack's useless now! It's out of fuel! I'm your only ticket down, so we do things my way! Understood? Whatever you say, pal. I got no beeps. Meanwhile, the pursuit plane has overtaken the Locust with a bold plan. Think you got it straight, Secord? I'll only be able to make one pass over. I'll tip my wing as close as I can, then you grab them ladder rungs. From there, you're on your own. So you gotta make it count. I don't like this. Not one bit. As the wing descends, Cliff slowly reaches one hand out. Gotta be careful, or this wind will tear me right off. Come on. Just a little lower. Something struck us from above. I'll go back and check. An army plane! The Rocketeer hangs on to the outside of the plane. The Locust suddenly banks hard. Yow! They're trying to shake me off. Also, I'm worried that army plane may have attached an explosive to the outside of the ship. No, they would never. Hold, there's a noise. Wind's tearing at me. Gotta get this blame door open. Ah, that's it. One good yank ought to do it. Cliff opens the door, and one of the hijackers is sucked out of the plane. Heinrich, what was it? Jeez, hope that wasn't the pilot. What did you find, Heinrich? Answer me. Cliff points a gun at the pilot. You? Yeah, me. Now shut your beak and land this thing, or so help me, I'll ventilate your head right here. You may kill me if you wish, but I will not land this plane. It goes to the fatherland, or it goes down in flames. Then get out of that chair! Ah! Cliff begins to wrestle with the pilot. Fool! You should have shot me while you had the chance. Oof! Die, swine! The pilot slams Cliff's head into the console. And once you are dead, my Fuhrer will have both the Locust and your precious rocket pack. The Locust pitches and yaws wildly in its flight. Pursuit 1 to tower. Situation looks critical. The Locust is out of control. There's a struggle in the cockpit, and it looks like... Wait! Our man just connected with a roundhouse punch. So much for the fatherland. Cliff takes the pilot's seat. Mayday! Mayday! You still out there? Come on, brother. Get on that mic and tell me how to land this crazy thing. Take it easy, Secord. Pull your nose up and level off. I'll talk you down the rest of the way. But the words never reach Cliff's ears. Repeat! Mayday! I'm not receiving you. Whoa! My radio must be out. Nuts! How am I going to land it now? Guess I'll just have to aim for the ground and make a wish. The Locust suddenly dives. Secord? Secord! He's riding it down! He's gonna blow up half of Beverly Hills. Let's move! Man, I should have seen this coming. Landing gear's dropping down, but so's the nose. Gotta bring it up. Yow! The Locust wing tears through a billboard as it nears the city streets. On impact, the landing gear snaps, and the Locust catapults into the streets like a giant raging beast. Get out of the road! I can't stop it! Oh no! The plane crashes into a restaurant, finally coming to a stop. What is it? Looks like some kind of plane. Hey, something's moving inside. Look! The glass in the cockpit begins to heave. And a tattered figure pulls itself from the wreckage, rising up like a specter. Love of Pete! It's something from space! No, wait a minute. It's that guy in the papers. The Rocketeer! Say, waiter, is there a doctor in the house? Cliff collapses in the restaurant.
Cliff wakes up in the military base's hospital and Peavy is there to greet him. He tells Cliff the inventor talked to the authorities for him and the rocket is downstairs in the lab. Cliff asks to call Betty, and Peavy leaves to get them some sandwiches. A woman who answers the phone tells Cliff that Betty was so angry at his stunt that she has left for Europe with her photographer, and he panics. Cliff changes back into his airfield clothes and heads for the lab, but he is spotted by the inventor's thugs. Cliff runs into the lab and blocks the door. Then he finds and finishes refueling the rocket. He spills some chemicals, though, which make him dizzy. Cliff barely gets the pack strapped on while the thugs take an axe to the door. His only thought is to reach Betty as he sits in a puddle of flammable liquids.
Cliff! Sweet mother of mercy! Cover your face! Chemical fumes! Hurry up with those! Move!
With much effort, the blaze is finally extinguished.
Nothing left. Poor sap. Probably never knew what hit him.
He must have been trying to use the rocket to get away. But why? He knew we were in the clear. Why couldn't he leave it be? It just don't make sense.
Nothing he did made sense, Pops. That loon belonged in a booby hatch.
Hours later, as dawn breaks over Cloverfield, Peavy is driven to his coop.
You're free to go, Pops. The boss said to tell you.
I am, huh? Well, thank you, boss. Mr. Hughes for me. I just wish things had turned out different.
Mr. Who?
Hughes. Howard Hughes. You know, the big guy you work for.
Huh?
I was wise to you mugs all along. I knew it had to be him, even with the getup.
Think you got it all doped out, eh, Pops?
Yeah. Colonel Mayberg, Hughes' personal bodyguard? I got your number, pal. And I bet my last sawbuck the fancy pants with you is one Noah Dietrich.
You don't say.
Listen, I didn't just fall up the turnip truck, you know. I've been around. I read the magazines.
Oh? Them pulp magazines?
Don't play foxy with me, pal. That stuff's pablum. I'm talking news mags. They got the straight poop on everything, including you. Hey!
So long, Pops. You're too well read for this crowd. Keep your nose clean.
After the men leave, Peavy is greeted by the bulldog with a note pinned to his collar.
What the heck are you doing here? Boy, Millie's gonna have a fit and a half. Hey, what do you got sticking out of your collar? Holy...
Peavy reads a note from Cliff. Sorry about all the trouble. Would have stuck around but found out Betty skipped out of me with that rat Margot to Europe and via New York. I aim to beat him there and find out why. Back soon, Cliff. P.S. That lab fire was an accident. I was too doped up to realize what I'd done. I don't mean to leave you holding the bag, but I gotta try and square things with Betty. This rocket business has just had me so cockeyed. I couldn't see straight. Now I may be losing her because of it. But not without a fight.
Okay, kid. Play it your way. I just hope you know what you're doing, 'cause we ain't out of the woods yet.
The end.
Look! There he is! Secord! This is your last warning!
Stop the warning. He's mine!
The Rocketeer's jetpack is shot and he begins to fall from the sky.
Betty! Betty! Betty!
Betty? Betty awakens with a start. Her photographer tells her they're about to land in Europe. Betty regrets leaving Cliff without a goodbye and worries about him, though she is confident she's made the right decision for her career and that the rocket will bring him nothing but trouble. Cliff lands his plane at a refueling station on the way to New York. The Rocketeer. Cliff's New York adventure.
I need gas, as fast as you can pour it.
Many miles away in a New York nightclub.
And Betty, dear, you simply must see Montmartre. It's so quaint.
We'll see all the sights. Oh, Ronnie, old man, did you bring the late edition?
Yes. Have a look, Marco. It's all about that Rocketeer fellow. Rather nasty-looking crash, eh?
Right through a restaurant. Incredible. He must have been killed instantly.
No way of knowing. His body was taken by the military.
Please, excuse me, everyone. I need some air.
Are you all right?
I'm just a bit dizzy. I'll be fine.
Marco, she's absolutely intoxicating. Where on earth did you... I've told you, Ronnie. Hollywood is full of girls just like her. All right for the plucking, eh? You dog. What hoops have you got this one jumping through? The usual, but not enough to suit my taste. She's a stubborn one. She'll be good for a few more laps, but... Oh, too much for the great swordsman, eh? Don't be droll, Ronnie. In the ladies' lounge, Betty quickly calls long distance.
He's got to be alive. Please. Oh, Peavy, answer your phone. Why don't you answer? All right. Thank you, operator. No, I'll try again later. I never should have left. I'm so stupid. He was in trouble and I left.
Cliff has made it to New York and found Betty with the help of a local friend. He steals a waiter's uniform to sneak into the club to see her. In the softly lit recesses of El Morocco, the minutes slip by.
What could be keeping Ronnie?
Light, miss?
Why, thank you. Cliff, you're all right. But what are you doing here?
I'm taking you back to California. Now, get your things.
No, I can't. You had no business following me. I didn't want you to know.
Anything wrong, my pet?
No, nothing. I was just talking to an old friend of mine. This is...
Save it! I can't believe you're doing this, Betty. You don't care at all then, do you?
Cliff.
I guess you never did.
Cliff, stop it, please.
Just a minute, you. What is all this? Margot grabs Cliff by the arm. Butt up, bourgeois. Why, you scruffy little... Cliff attacks Betty's photographer Margot, but his men soon hold Cliff down to be punched. A suave stranger stops him, saying he knows all about Margot's dark misdeeds. This man is the Shadow, known as both Kent Allard and Lamont Cranston in other media. But as I believe Dave did not have the rights to the character at the time he wrote this, the name Mr. Jonas will be used instead, and he will not appear in costume. But this man is the popular pulp character, the Shadow, who has the power of telepathy and can cloud the minds of men as well as see their guilty consciences. He saves Cliff from the thugs. Let me alone.
It's all right, Cliff. He's just trying to help. It's very kind of you to do this.
Nonsense. I'm merely looking after my own interests.
I was afraid of this. Cliff, you just ain't the scrapper you used to be.
Evening, Gander. I trust you'll see to our friend here.
You bet, sir. Cliff, this is the guy I've been telling you about.
Just get me in the cab. Call me Jonas, Secord. I was hoping to bump into you tonight. I have a small job for a flyer of your experience. I'm prepared to pay you quite well. Can we...
Take the air, will you?
Go on, beat it. Just let me be. As you wish. But should you change your mind, Gander knows where to contact me, day or night.
Don't hold your breath. Cliff, I don't know what to say except I'm sorry.
Huh. You and me both, sister. It's a little late for that now.
What do you mean?
Can it, Betty? I'm through playing the chump. Look, just take a walk, huh? Go on back to your cafe society skunks. You belong with them.
So, this is how you want to end it? Right here?
Yeah. Someday you'll thank me. Cliff shoves Betty out of the cab. Let's go, Goose.
Cliff, are you slap happy? You blew it. You had her, and you blew it. I can't believe this.
Shut up, Goose. I know what I did. Anything I can do?
Yes. You said you had a job for him? Make him take it. He's probably used every penny to get here. He'll be broke now.
You care for him a great deal, but don't worry. So long as he's in New York, I'll be sticking to him like a shadow. Mr. Jonas's driver, Goose, takes Cliff to watch the photographer leaving alone on a ship. Unbeknownst to Cliff, a guilt-ridden Betty is already boarding a plane headed back to Los Angeles.
When Cliff returns to his hangar and his plane, he is surprised by Mr. Jonas waiting for him in the shadows. The Rocketeer, Nightmare at Large. Morning, Secord. Sorry to have startled you. Donut?
In a minute. Whew.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Secord, in my line of work, I often find myself in need of specialized services. Mr. Gander, for instance, provides his autogyro for a monthly retainer. You, however, can offer much more.
I'm not sure I follow.
I'll speak plainly then. I know what you carry in that canvas bag.
What?
Come, Secord. I detest bad lying. I've known for some time that you were in possession of the Cirrus X3, and I'm quite impressed by your resourcefulness. You seem to have a knack for beating the odds.
So, whose side are you on? Hitler or J. Edgar's?
Neither. I operate independently of all government agencies. I do what is morally right, by my rules.
So what exactly do you want from me?
That depends. Will it still fly?
Well...
Here, will this earn your trust?
500 smackers? Holy Moses! What kind of job is this?
A dangerous one, so listen closely. Cliff sneaks into an underground bar by posing as a criminal seeking shelter. Suddenly, a man who looks identical to another criminal at the bar pulls a gun and shoots out the lights, causing a distraction. Cliff runs from the gunfire and quickly dons his rocket and helmet from his duffel bag, just as some thugs catch up to him. The Rocketeer blasts off, knocking the men away and flying up the stairwell. Reaching the 13th floor, Cliff hits the thrust controls, cutting the engine.
Whew, made it. Looks like somebody beat me to it. Uh-oh, sounds like they're on the stairs. Hope they didn't see me.
Inside the apartment, the Shadow tells Cliff that he is hunting a man he used to know. He hands Cliff a photograph of himself in a carnival troupe in 1928, and tells Cliff that every other person in that photograph has been hunted down and murdered, their spines snapped with great force, all except Cliff and the killer himself.
You're his next and last victim. Why?
No, there's someone else, someone who wasn't in the photograph. Orsino, the escape king.
What if...
They've found us. Quick, out the window. I'll hold them off. You and Gander find this Orsino before the killer does. The Rocketeer blasts out the window as the Shadow covers his escape with his twin .45 caliber pistols. Cliff finds Goose in his autogyro plane over the city.
Goose? What the heck is he? Uh-oh.
He sees Goose extend a rope ladder. Cliff dives below the oncoming machine.
Ugh, doggone it, Goose!
Cliff becomes tangled in the rope ladder.
Slow down, you crazy idiot! Goose!
Cliff climbs into the cockpit. He tells Goose that Orsino must be playing in town or the killer wouldn't be here, and they plan to call a radio agent. When the men burst into the room, the Shadow appears to have vanished. Later, at Orsino's show in Atlantic City, a huge man resembling screen star Rondo Hatton waves at him from the audience, volunteering to be in his act. Death stalks the Midway. Like a dragonfly drawn to glittering lights, the autogyro descends on Atlantic City's famed steel pier.
Shake it up, Goose, and hope we're not too late to save Orsino's neck.
The Rocketeer.
He ought to be near the end of his act by now. And let's hope this won't be his last escape, Bo.
They enter through a skylight. The magician performs his trick, placing the large man, Lothar, into a sarcophagus as he threatens to kill Orsino after the show. The magician triggers a flash and replaces Lothar with a wrapped mummy. Lothar smashes through the false back of the trick coffin and Orsino runs off stage and up a staircase. The crew bring down the curtain, and Lothar chases the magician by holding the curtain rope as it rises. He encounters Cliff on a catwalk on his way up.
What the heck?
You!
Lothar!
Heh heh heh.
Orsino cuts the rope with a sword.
Psh. Yeah!
Lothar falls and is so heavy he smashes through the wooden floor and into the water below.
Aim a spot down here. Jeez, he went clean through to the drink.
And wrapped in those weights to the bottom. I hope you're right, old pal. Cliff! First Lothar, now you! Brother, I need a stiff belt.
I'll second that.
We've got to talk, Orsino, in private. In Orsino's dressing room, Cliff tells everyone the full story. In 1928, he was part of a carnival troupe with the magician Orsino, his knife-throwing assistant Ruby, the strong man Lothar, and a small woman, Tina. Tina asked Cliff to be alone together, and he agreed, not even hearing her because he was distracted by Ruby, with whom he would start spending time. Lothar comforted Tina when Cliff unknowingly stood her up, and they formed a close bond. Cliff and Ruby were so lost in themselves that Ruby wasn't there for a show, and Tina volunteered to take her place in the escape trick. Unfortunately, Tina's smaller lungs couldn't hold enough air for the rescue to take place, and she drowned.
No!
Lothar cracked. He spotted me and went straight for my throat. Took 3 carnies to pull him off. He killed one of them, went to Sing Sing for it. That night, I packed up my gear and left the carnival. For good. Yeah, poor Tina. A real shame. But the show must go on. Let's say I pick up a few friends and we hit the boardwalk. Goose, Orsino, and Cliff take some girls to the carnival on a date. But when they are in a horror-themed boat ride, Lothar strikes. He rises from the water behind Cliff's boat. He grabs Cliff and pulls him underwater.
Hey, I think your pal fell out.
Huh?
For Tina. Your debt is paid. One murderer remains.
Cliff floats away, unconscious. Cliff is dumped out at the end of the ride and found by an attendant. Lothar uses a bone from a skeleton to make a torch, and he sets the ride on fire as the others are forced to climb a web to escape. The dry wood and papier-mâché are easy tinder for the gruesome torch.
The ha 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 ha! Orsino, burn in hell!
Oh my gosh, now what? Only one way down. But I can't swim. Eee!
They all jump down into the water to escape a burning ride car. Cliff is accosted by the police while trying to warn them of the danger, but the Shadow knocks the police out with a sandbag hung from the autogyro's rope ladder. In the confusion, Cliff escapes. Boom! Jonas! It's twice tonight he saved my bacon. What hit me? Hey, where's that kid? Here goes nothing. I only hope they're still alive. I've gotta stop Lothar. Somehow. Cliff dons the rocket and his helmet. Holy Moses! The Rocketeer flies into the blaze. Orsino! Goose! A movement from above catches Cliff's eye. Hang on, I'm coming! Everybody okay? Orsino?
No, Secord. Me.
Lothar grabs Cliff and picks him up by his neck.
You think that helmet will protect you from Lothar?
Lothar smashes Cliff's head into a window and his helmet becomes stuck.
Psh!
Lothar! Secord is not the one you want. I am. Remember?
Yes.
Lothar drops Cliff to attack Orsino.
You won't escape me twice, magician.
Cliff triggers the rocket and Lothar grips him by reflex and he is carried along as Cliff blasts off. He slammed Lothar into the ceiling. They burst out the top of the ride, and Cliff scrambles free. Lothar remains stuck in the hole.
Ah, I'm burning! Help me!
Cliff grabs Lothar's arm and pulls, but Lothar grabs him by the neck.
I'll take you to hell with me! What? No! No!
Suddenly, Lothar is yanked back into the inferno.
Let go of me! No!
Orsino? Looking down through the hole, Cliff sees Orsino in the flames, but he reveals that he is actually the Shadow, again in disguise.
Well done, my friend. Till we meet again, eh?
Huh? Jonas? Cliff flies away from the fire as the other riders are rowed to safety in the river.
Gee, you poor friend. Cliff, don't worry about him. He came out flying.
Huh? The following day, in a Manhattan hotel room.
All packed up, huh? Well, you wouldn't want to leave without this.
Cliff opens Goose's package and finds his battered helmet.
Hey, how'd you get it out? That whole place went up. Jonas, need I say more?
That guy's just plain spooky. How'd you even hook up with him, Goose?
Easy. He came to me, said he needed a pilot and a second autogyro, and it'd be risky work, so naturally I accepted.
Real mixer, ain't he?
Yeah, he's crazy for it, like a hophead. Always want to jump ahead of the cops, too. It's better than gangbusters, Bo.
And he's a mental marvel to boot. So how did he know so much about me? My past? Stuff nobody knew. Like Tina? And even the rocket pack, too.
Well, I know he kept the daily file on the freak snuffs. And when he showed me that group snapshot, I knew your number was up if we didn't pull you in quick. As for the rocket pack, I kinda told him. I snuck a look in your duffel bag where you, slow dancing in the El Morocco. Sorry, Cliff. You saw?
Nah, I gotta tell you anyway.
So what you gonna do when you get home?
Well, try and sort things out with the law. This gizmo's still stolen property, you know.
Yeah, but it sure came in handy.
I'll say. Listen, thank Jonas for me, okay? Cockeyed as it sounds, I kinda like his style.
The feeling's mutual, I'm sure.
Well, so long, pal. It's been a panic.
Remember me to the dames, you hooligan.
The Bulldog Cafe.
Morning, Peavy. Any word yet?
Yep, telegram just came. He flew out this morning. Should be here sometime tomorrow. Funny thing, though, not a word about Betty. I guess he must have got there too late. He's probably in France by now. Huh. I still can't figure out why she'd run out on him, Millie. I thought they had something real special going.
I thought so too, Peavy. That's why I came back.
Huh?
Paris will just have to wait until Cliff and I can go together. In the meantime, we've got a lot of talking to do.
The end. Dave Stevens is best known for creating The Rocketeer, but he worked on many other things in a long and full career. He was very involved with the film adaptation as well, serving as a hands-on creative talent and co-producer on the set. He was very disappointed with the film's box office numbers and felt the film was possibly marketed wrong. But it also came out in an extremely competitive year for blockbuster movies. The best analysis video I can recommend for fans of the film is Red Letter Media's review of The Rocketeer, and they echo my thoughts on the film pretty accurately. Only weirdos like us loved it at the time and have ever since, and if you loved it too, then you're in the club. For more on Dave Stevens' other work, I found this video put up recently by someone who focuses more on the drawn art side of comics. And for a little information on the film's production, Oliver Harper is excellent, and he did a short 10-minute retrospective on the film. I won't be covering the official comic adaptation for obvious reasons, but there were also many Rocketeer comics created well after the film and after Dave Stevens' untimely death from cancer in 2008. The Rocketeer Adventures 1 and 2 are both nothing but short vignettes by top comics talents, all paying homage and meant to give the sense of a world full of stories, placing the Rocketeer in World War II for many adventures, as well as showing other colorful characters that fit his world. Two other miniseries tell longer stories set firmly during the war, and those comics will be the focus of my next episode. Or maybe I might even make this a trilogy and split those mini-series into another episode. It depends how they all come out. But either way, join me back here in 2 weeks for the Rocketeer Adventures Part 2, and we'll get into the excellent post-film comics, and see what legacy the character of the Rocketeer has enjoyed. Till next time, thanks for watching.